I screwed up this video a little bit. I'm installing this hitch on my 2012 Chevy Volt, and I have no video of me removing the plastic pan underneath. Frankly, it's not a big deal. You should be able to get that off easily. Let's pick it up from right there. All right, on this side, these two holes will line up with the holes on the hitch. I'm going to just show you how to fish these in. I've done two others now, so I'm a pro. So you're going to need your big gold colored bolt and this plate, which you're going to need to drill out, which doesn't make any sense. You would think they could have done that when they manufactured it, but if you don't, you're not going to be able to get this bolt through it very easily. And you're going to need one of these lock washers. So take your fish wire, and it's got a curly end and a straight end. You can put your lock washer on and put your plate on, and then you're going to screw your bolt into the curly part. And what I learned by messing it up before is that you only want to go put it on the threads just until it gets to the end here. I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to go way past that so it doesn't fall off, but then when you're trying to pull it into that hole, it's not able to go in there, so keep it out just to the end, and that'll help pull it through. So this is one of the holes. You can see this is the back of the car right here. This is one of the holes that we want a bolt to come through and bolt the hitch onto. This is a larger hole here, and the width of this plate is such that it will just fit through the same diameter as that hole. So we're going to have to put that up there and bring it down over there. So I'm able, with this one, it's a lot easier than on the other side. I can see my wire right there, and I can grab it, pull it down, and then stick my plate up in there, and stick my bolt up in there, and then should be able to bring them both back down. Said not to focus, but so I brought it. That was pretty easy. It came back down. On the other side, it was easier to feed this loop into the hole first, because there was a little more weight and it would drop down and I could grab that when it came through the hole. But that is what it's all about right there. Okay, yet another novice error here on the muffler side, the driver's side. I put the bolt in there and the bolt in there because there's only one big bolt, a hole to feed that plate through, so I assumed, you put it through there and then bring it over to here. But this isn't where it lines up with the hitch. That hitch lines up with this hole and this hole, so somehow I'm going to have to get that plate in there and then feed that bolt through. Let me see if I can do that. I don't remember seeing this on the etrailer video, but I got to get a bolt to come out of this hole, which is difficult because this one you feed up through here, and this hole is big enough not only for that, but also for the plate to fit up there. But if I've got to get this to come down, I can't feed it through any other hole, and I got to get that plate in there first. Let me show you how I figured out how to make that work. Put these on your fish wire first, like that. Put that up in there. Take your plate, put it on the other end of this fish wire, and then feed that up in there. Now you can bring it all back down. So let me show you how this hitch is going to fit up on those bolts. This, I believe, which leaves, I think I have one of these nut plates that they talk about in the instruction right here, which there is another bolt that's supposed to go up in there, but mine is just really rusted up in there. So I'm going to tap that out so I can get this last bolt in there. The directions say that you're supposed to torque the bolts to only 22 foot-pounds, which seems ridiculously small to me considering the size of these bolts and the thing they're hanging on. I don't know. I mean, 22 foot-pounds is really little. I think I'm going to disregard that and probably do at least 50 on this. I don't understand why it's so little. Now, the other big problem is that, well, I could hit these with my impact wrench to get them to sort of seat. Over here, these two bolts that are hiding up there, they're just spinning right now, so there's very little torque on them at all, and I have to figure out somehow to get them to the bolt themselves to stay while I turn the nut. So they don't say anything about that in the instructions. I think this is going to be hard to see, but using this contraption, I managed to get this on this nut and then put my impact wrench on it and was able to hit it hard enough to lock that bolt in place and get that one tight enough. Now I got one more to go, which is back here, and I can't really get to it. Well, I did manage to sneak the same contraption around this side by push this muffler kind of out of the way to the side, and got that thing with the U-joint on it up in there, hit it with my impact wrench to get it sort of set, and got my 22 foot-pounds plus more on those. So I got those bolts hooked up. These bolts are really snugged up. This bolt that was included that's supposed to go up in there, I think just to spread out, because there's no hole. Oh, there is a hole there. I got to put one in there. Is too long. So I got to get a shorter one, and I think it should be made out of the same hardened steel as that one. So I got to go to the hardware store for that. This is a handy template that they give you without any further instructions to cut out the panel that's back here. So essentially, So we're going to have to cut kind of that U shape here to accommodate the receiver hitch. I got that cut out with my solar powered Dremel tool, and now it should fit right up in there. Let me fasten it all together now. I had to trim out a little bit more around here to fit around this bracket. That wasn't in the instructions, but it was necessary to try to get this bolt back in here. This is all futzy and a pain in the butt, but did get it back on, and let's give it a try now. Well, the bike rack seems to be working out really well with that big 2-inch receiver. Gives a lot of room. This Yakima has a thing inside there that you actually tighten up so it gets quite solid in there. So I would say that's a success, except for the fact that this is awfully low to the ground now. You know, there's only a couple inches. What is that? That's a hand width between the ground, and then this thing is even lower here. And if you put any weight inside the car, you're going to be hitting that trailer hitch on things. I guess that's one of the downsides to having such a big receiver hitch, is it just puts it another inch or so closer to the ground. Now let's try a trailer. Yikes! So even with the trailer hitch flipped over to give it a 1-inch rise, still really low to the ground, and the place where these chains hook on is way back here, so that makes these chains awfully short, which I guess is good, because otherwise they'd be dragging on the ground. I did sort of jackknife it to make sure that it wasn't going to stretch or strain the chains, and I don't think it will. I've don't have a wire harness exactly on here. I have the lights hooked up right now just into the cigarette lighter, which is right there. Okay, again, keeping in mind you're not supposed to tow a trailer with a Volt. I'm going to, and see what happens. So I loaded up this trailer and I pulled it all the way up to International Falls, and actually the Volt is an excellent towing machine. It pulled both my boats right out of the water without any trouble at all. Much better than my 120 horsepower Subaru Impreza with manual transmission. Really happy, I guess, with the hitch. Again, it hangs awfully low and hits things all the time. It was also really expensive compared to the 1 1/4 inch hitch. I don't know. I might go with the 1 1/4 if I did it again.